you've been fortunate, and you've also been open to the opportunities, and many of us have that imposter syndrome anyway, and you, because we don't know everything, and a lot of creatives are perfectionists, but you learn as you go. That being said, how have you seen the industry change, like especially for our students as they're preparing their portfolios? What kind of employment opportunities do you see out there? How has it changed? What advice would you give someone that's looking to graduate within the next semester or two, a year, and how to prepare to enter the field that keeps shifting?
Yeah, well, one thing I've realized is, I've had a lot of change in my career, and that's just because the industry changes. I mean, it does. I have to change with the industry as it changes. And so I say this to everyone, your core skills are what ultimately matter. Learning like color theory, learning like basics of composition, and just the basic fundamentals of design. Those will never change, but the material will change. Like, when I first started, the only way you can cut a motion picture was an Avid, and now there's like 35 different ways that people do it. And but that doesn't matter because the creative content, the creative like uh, nucleus of what you're doing remains the same. It's just the interfacing to get to that final product is what changes ultimately. And so, just know that what things that are happening today are going to be different tomorrow, and that's going to keep happening. But there's always going to be that need for creativity, especially in media. And I'll speak towards media specifically, but there is always that need for like smart designers, smart creatives, because at the end of the day, there are very specific needs for a TV show, for a motion picture, and you have to be able to jump in and contribute your thoughts to that. Because as a human, you could think of something that's relevant. You're coming up with ideas and solutions, and you're finding the most relevant and the most appropriate fit for that thing. And that's what makes you really, really important. And so don't get too lost in the tools. It does help to know those things, but ultimately your decision making is what is necessary. And in those environments, that's that's paramount to everything. It's just getting someone and saying, hey, we need to like make this shot look better. And whatever tools are available at that time, you know how to do that. You know what decisions to kind of make. And so, as far as your portfolio goes, really just being able to show that you understand how to tell a story, you understand how to compose an image, you understand how to how to you understand kind of how to put things together. I mean, have some knowledge of the tools. I mean, learning things like After Effects, Photoshop, those are all great. I think it's important because you do actually kind of need those to do the job these days. But even beyond that, I mean, that might not exist in 5 years. It might be something completely different. And at the end of the day, if you just kind of understand how to communicate, because that's all we're doing, we're communicating. It's just a medium of communication. I think that's going to be the most important thing. And it's like I said, things ebb and flow in this industry. There's constant change. It's easy to get discouraged, especially with kind of all the hardships going on in the job market right now. I 100% empathize with everyone, but don't give up. It's you are like incredibly important, and especially in this industry, you're an incredibly important part of that decision making chain because we need that trained brain somewhere in that stack to be able to help make the decisions needed to be able to tell stories to other human beings.
One student, Johnny, who's in our digital media program, was asking about AI. Who's not interested in AI these days? He said, how can we shift our perspective from AI is a threat, from AI is a competitive advantage? And what tools should we be mastering to show that we're ahead of the curve? Now, so that's a very open-ended question, and I think you could probably answer it various ways. What's your thought if you're entering the market? Like, what do you have to
I
show?
definitely think there is value in understanding how to use the current tool of the day. It's like back to my point of me being old and when the industry went from analog to digital. Like that doesn't mean conventional filmmaking died with film, but you wanted to adopt to digital to digital filmmaking. You kind of had to because the studios that we were outputting our content to requested digital master copies and things. Even like if you didn't want to and you wanted, no, I want to do analog film, you're forced to do that because that's just how the industry is adapted. And so obviously I would recommend, learn how to use AI, learn how to use it to your advantage. But at the end of the day, when a tool comes out and everybody uses it, then you kind of lose that advantage because that becomes a new baseline. So like it's like Photoshop. Like now everyone has Photoshop. I remember back when Photoshop cost like $1,500 a year, and you had to like buy CDs every year, and you had to like decide if you wanted to upgrade at the end of the year. And like now everyone has it, and so like it's less of an advantage having it now. It's just kind of like the baseline. And so like if I take on something with a client, they'll just like send me a PSD and expect me to be able to open it. So like of course it's photoshopping. That's what we do. And so, you know, I see AI in this kind of a similar way. Is it's kind of the baseline now, and it can help you do some really cool stuff. It can help you come up with some ideas. It can help you research. It can help you maybe find an angle that you hadn't realized. But at the end of the day, you have to be really really good about making sure that it's relevant to what you're trying to do. Um, I've seen in some environments like software development, for example, the policy being you can use something like this to help you code, but you are personally responsible for every line of code you submit. So you, as a human being, have to ultimately own up to any mistakes that are in there. And so just kind of think of it like that. Like it's, maybe it's a tool to help you find stuff, but don't shirk your responsibilities as a designer because you are the designer, and we want to see how you think.